career of cackling Cam Harris is over. The cackling choir has been silenced. Deacons at Woke United Methodist, they are in mourning. The identifiers, along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media, they're experiencing emotional meltdowns. The symptoms of stage 4 OMB, oh, it's been bad! The symptoms of stage 4 OMB are completely out of control. Doctors at Woke Memorial Hospital, the doctors cannot keep up with the overflow of patients. For the past 12 or so hours, they have been calling and calling and calling pretend Dr. Jill Biden. But pretend Dr. Jill, she's nowhere to be found. They can't say they weren't warned. For the past 4 months, and I reminded them again last night, for the past 4 months, Uncle Casey has been telling you that this election had the potential to be a landslide. For months, Uncle Casey has been telling you that Cam Harris did not have a chance. Now, it wasn't on the level of Reagan Mondale, but what we witnessed last night, that was pretty damn close to a landslide. The legacy media, they tried to stretch it out. They tried to make it suspenseful. But by 8, maybe 9 o'clock Central last night, everyone knew it was over. Believe it or not, Donald Trump, he was not the only winner last night. America was not the only winner. The world was not the only winner. As America once again showed the world how to defeat woke politics. You know who the real winner was last night? More importantly, the real loser? Cam Harris was not the biggest loser last night. Like I've been saying for months now, Cam Harris, she was simply the replacement loser. It didn't matter if it was Cam Harris, didn't matter if it was Johnny B. Biden, they were losing either way. There was a clear winner and a clear loser last night. Unfortunately for the loser, I don't know if they will ever be able to recover. What we saw last night, it was a complete shift in influence. It's something that we have known for a while now, but last night proved that our suspicions were right. The legacy media, the mainstream media, whatever the hell you want to call it, the legacy media is dead. The influence of the mainstream media no longer exists. Independent content creators have taken over. Independent content creators, they have taken the influence away from the mainstream media, and we're not giving it back. And judging by their emotional reactions last night, I think the mainstream media knows it's over. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. Haven't had a chance to upload the video just yet, but we're going to be talking about Zion Williamson today on the second channel and why I believe that his days in New Orleans are numbered. So if you haven't already, head on over there and subscribe. 4 years ago, everything seemed to be hopeless. 4 years ago, the mainstream media, they were able to use their influence to demonize the Trumper and get an aging fossil who has to be reminded to breathe elected into the White House. They used fear to get John Biden elected. They used the COVID, they used the unrest in the streets. They claimed that Johnny B. Biden was the man who could return things to normal. Build back better. That's me, Johnny B. The media played on the fears of a population who had spent months locked in their homes, where the only thing they had to do was watch TV. 4 years ago, that strategy worked. They were able to get the patriarch of incompetence elected based on the fears of an uninformed electorate. They were able to use 7 months of frustration, 7 months of confinement to get Johnny B. Biden elected, which is why the media tried to utilize the same strategy with cackling Cam Harris. They knew Cam wasn't qualified to run the country. Hell, Cam's not qualified to run a McDonald's. If she was, they would be able to find her pay stubs. The media strategy, it was never about electing Cam Harris. It was always about defeating the orange man. They thought they could use their influence to once again sway public opinion. Problem is, they thought wrong. Problem is, the mainstream media is so out of touch with normal people, they failed to realize that normal people had taken away their influence. Normal people were now trusting people like themselves. Normal people were now getting their news from Tucker Carlson, Brandon Tatum, Charlie Kirk, Glenn Beck. Normal people were getting their news from dumbasses like me. Why? Because they knew the mainstream media could not be trusted. You see, you don't always have to be right, but in order to build and maintain an audience, in order to build influence, there are two things that you always have to be: honest and authentic, which are two areas where the mainstream media are huge embarrassing failures. I put together a compilation from last night. This is just a little taste of how the mainstream media covered the election. Yesterday, I gave you guys my personal theory as to why Donald Trump was going to win, and it would probably be a landslide. I compared it to the 2020 election and how the mainstream media used 7 months of anger and frustration to get the Trumper out of the White House. They couldn't do that with this election because now normal people had been through 3 years of anger, 3 years of frustration, 3 years of misery, 3 years of living paycheck to paycheck. That is impossible to overcome. There is not enough polish that you can put on that turd to make it appealing. Did you hear anything like that from the mainstream media last night? No. Instead, they tried to blame mythical misogyny and mythical racism. Here is a compilation of how CNN and MSNBC covered the election last night. Watch it for yourself.
There were appeals to racism in this campaign, and there is racial bias in this country, and there is sexism in this country. And anybody who thinks that that did not in any way impact on the outcome of this race is wrong.
It's a state where women lost their reproductive rights, where there was a very heavy push to get women to focus on not putting in place, re-electing, putting back into the White House the person who was responsible for taking those rights away and restoring them. But that message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy.
There are African-American women who know a little bit about being talked down to and know a little bit about having their economic dreams crushed, who tried to dream a big dream over the past couple of months. And tonight they're trading in a lot of hope for a lot of hurt. And they were hoping that maybe this time, one of their own could be seen as worthy. And once again, they're facing rejection. And that hurts.
Is it any wonder why people no longer trust the media? They are trying to blame this loss on mythical racism. They are trying to blame white women. They are trying to blame the myth of misogyny. If the media wanted to restore their own credibility, you know who they would blame? They would blame themselves. For the better part of 4 years, you lied to us about Johnny B. Biden. You told us that Johnny B. Biden was sharper than ever. This man is amazing! He can determine gender without the help of a biologist. Once that lie was exposed globally in his debate against Donald Trump, you selected Cam Harris as the replacement loser and continued lying about her. Hell, you even lied about why Cam was selected to begin with. You claimed that she was qualified. You claimed that she had a strong record, when the real reason that Cam Harris was selected is because you were afraid to be labeled racist. You were afraid to be labeled misogynist. Your own identity politics bit you directly in the ass. You lost this election. You spent the last 4 years pushing race over merit. And where did that get you? It got you the worst presidential ticket in the history of American politics. And to make matters worse, it destroyed the last semblance of influence that the media was holding on to. I'm telling you right now, it's over for the mainstream media. There is no coming back from this. This is yet another example of the woke fungus doing what it does best. The woke fungus is designed to destroy. The mainstream media, they have lost the trust of normal people. And once trust is lost, it is damn near impossible to get it back. Your relationship with the media, it's no different than your personal relationships. Think about your marriage or your relationship with your girlfriend. For a while, you might have suspicions that she's lying to you. Maybe the lies start small at first, a little white lie here and there. Maybe she tells you that she's at work when she's really having lunch with the Pepperidge Farm guy. Problem is, you can't actually prove it. All you have are your suspicions. All you have are your instincts telling you that something ain't right. So you stay in the relationship even though you know she's full of shit. You stay in the relationship even though you're miserable. Until one day, you finally get the proof that you need. One day, you finally reach the point where you've had enough and you get the hell out of that relationship. Same thing with the legacy media. For years, maybe even a decade now, normal people have been skeptical of the mainstream media. But for the longest time, the media was able to disguise their bias. 4, maybe 5 years ago, the mask finally came off. The media exposed themselves. They showed us who they are. For the first time, possibly ever, the media was finally honest about their intentions, and the country rejected them. Like I said in the beginning, Cam Harris, she was not the only loser yesterday. Matter of fact, Cam wasn't even the biggest loser. The biggest loser last night was the mainstream media, and they know it. They know it's over, which is why they have been pressuring YouTube and other social media platforms to crack down on conservative content creators. They disguise their true intentions under the guise of misinformation. We are just trying to protect people. We don't want people getting false information. We are the only ones who are allowed to lie. I think a lot of these social media platforms, these video platforms, I think a lot of them have finally realized that the media no longer has the power. The real power is with the people. Give me your thoughts on this. Who was the biggest loser last night? Was it Cam Harris or was it the mainstream media? Is the political career of Cam Harris over? Do you think it's possible for legacy media to regain the trust of normal people? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later.